Hello, Region 13. My name is Dr. Sydney Leggett, Superintendent of Schools. I am here today to provide you with some information about the upcoming budget referendum. We have had a lot of questions coming in about what the next steps are, and we also had a suggestion that instead of sending something else home to read, that people might appreciate a short video to go over the critical information about what the board will be discussing tomorrow night. So, if you just give me one quick second, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. We're going to go over some slides that has an overview of the information. And in addition, we are going to go over some FAQs, some frequently asked questions that we get a lot. And then finally, I will go through a series of some misinformation that has been going around that we have consistently heard, and we'll try and give some factual answers to that to be able to make sure that people are thinking about the budget and the vote with factual information. All right, here we go. So, as I mentioned, we're here to discuss the upcoming budget referendum, and that is tentatively scheduled for June 18th. The board will finalize that date at the meeting tomorrow, Monday night. Where are we currently with the budget referendum? The original proposed budget was May 5th, and that was a gross budget increase of 4.5% and a net increase of 4.35%. And when we went to, and that one did fail, we went out for a referendum again with some changes. Those changes in June for that vote, the gross was 3.94%, and the net became 3.77%. And then the board will be looking at additional reductions, proposed reductions tomorrow night. If they accept all proposed reductions, the gross will become a 2.16% and the net will be a 1.92%. I just want to start off by saying that whenever we're looking at budgets, we're always looking at a careful balance, and we always have to focus on balancing student needs. Our students always come first, and we balance this with great respect for taxpayer dollars. So that's what all of these budgets that have been put forward are seeking to do, and that's what I know the board does each time they move a budget forward to the community. So tomorrow night, the board is going to have a special meeting. It'll be Monday night, June 8th at 6 p.m. in the CRHS Library. It's also available via Zoom. This is where the board and members of the public can offer input, but this is where the board will discuss community feedback and make decisions on the next gross budget that moves forward for referendum. So if you would like to provide input, and we encourage you to provide input, please attend the meeting in person or online, or email the board with your thoughts at boe@rsd13.org. The additional reductions for proposed discussion tomorrow night are the following. So there is a proposed reduction in salary and benefits, salary of $570,573 and benefits of $117,750. And those would be the following positions, 5 full positions. Those would be the Director of Teaching and Learning, a kindergarten teacher, a Coggin High School English teacher, an instructional coach, and an interventionist. In addition to those 5 proposed position reductions, we're also proposing reductions in athletics totaling $25,026, technology $22,500, curriculum $14,100, and various other stipends for $6,460. When we were looking at places to reduce, it was extremely important from the administration's perspective that it is not focused on one particular area, that reductions are at this stage being reduced across administration, instruction, athletics, arts, everywhere. What had already been reduced from this current year's budget? So prior to these that we just discussed, some significant personnel and operational cuts were already secured during the first 2 referendums. And the personnel reductions were an elementary teacher, a speech and language pathologist, a music teacher, a social worker that had previously been grant funded, a library media specialist, which was added in the second referendum, a .5 health PE position, and a .5 administrative assistant. In addition to those position reductions, we had reduced all district supplies by 15%. Capital spending allowance had been halved from 2% to 1% of allowable spending, and there were an additional 94,000 cuts across various department budgets. So all of these things had already been proposed in prior to budgets put forward to the community. I want to go through some FAQs and some clarification of misinformation. And we'll start with the FAQs so we can provide some clear answers. FAQ number one, isn't the extra money from the state going to cover increases? So the additional state funds total 215,744 for both towns, and this can only be reflected as revenue. We're happy to have the additional funding from the state, but this means it directly helps to offset the amount assessed to the towns, but it does not decrease our gross budget, which is what everyone votes on. Number two, will the per pupil expenditures decrease with these cuts? So the per pupil expenditure is estimated at budget time. So the proposed reductions are estimated to reduce the per pupil expenditure from an estimated $29,830 presented in my initial proposed budget in February to an estimated $29,116 if all reductions are moved forward by the board. Frequently asked question number three. What is the total amount the budget has been reduced since the initial proposed budget if all the above reductions are made? The gross budget will have been reduced by $997,136, and the net budget has been reduced by $1,212,880. That additional difference increase from the last net is the additional $215,744 from the state. Number four, will class sizes increase? Class size changes would occur in the following areas. If the board reduces a kindergarten teacher, the class sizes will go from an average of 14 or 15 per class to 17 or 18 students per class in kindergarten. And if the board reduces an English teacher, senior elective class sizes will increase, but that number will depend on student course selection. Number five, if the new reductions are adopted, what will the cost to towns be? Cost to towns would decrease since my original initial budget proposal in Durham by $792,980 and in Middlefield by $419,900. Number six, why is RSD 13 per pupil spending higher than state average? The biggest thing here is that regional school districts appear to spend more per pupil because they have to absorb all municipal infrastructure costs. So in a traditional town district, the town budget pays for infrastructure like snow plowing, building maintenance, grounds, et cetera, and the school budget pays for the education portion. In all regional districts in the state, the regional school district operates as its own municipality. So our budget has to cover classroom education plus 100% of the infrastructure costs that are normally included in a town budget. Now we're going to switch gears, and these are some pieces of misinformation we've been hearing in the community, and we want to make sure that we give some factual answers to these. Clarification number one, we are cutting ABA positions and students will not get services or programming. So the factual answer is that the district has not reduced any ABA positions, and we love our ABAs. They do very hard jobs, and we're very grateful for all that they do. What has been reduced is their paid vacation time when students are not in session, which aligns their schedule with teachers' assistants. ABAs will continue to work in the summer when students are in session, and they'll get a separate summer contract for those weeks. We are fully staffed for our summer program needs, and no services or programming for students has been reduced during the summer or the regular school year. Clarification number two, our class size teacher to student ratio is 1 to 10. The factual answer is that this is a misleading statistic. It includes certified staff such as special education teachers, related service providers, and others. When we're looking at average class size, actual teachers in front of a classroom of students, RSD 13 average runs approximately one teacher to 18 to 20 students, depending on the grade level. Number three, the district has not responded to declining enrollment. The factual answer is that over the last 10 years, the district has responded to declining enrollment with the reduction of more than 30 positions. Those 30 positions over the last 10 years also don't even include the ones that were originally proposed for reduction this year in the original budget. Number four, the district is overstaffed in the central office. The factual answer is that an average rule of thumb for running a business is to have one manager or administrator per 8 to 15 employees. So if we took the high end of that average, about 15, the RSD 13 central office would run the business side of our operations with 23 people in central office. And the fact is that we currently run the business side of our operation with 10 people. So we are less than half what you would see in any average business. I also want to consider the fact that these are excellent professionals who are in these positions, and they are not running your average business. They need to have a lot of information and knowledge about running under state and federal compliance, and they also regularly respond to the daily needs of kids and staff in Region 13. Number five, we only proposed reduction of teachers, not administrators. The fact is that the first proposed reduction on the list for Monday night discussion is an administrative position, which is the Director of Teaching and Learning. Again, we tried to distribute reductions across all areas. So yes, there is an administrative position that's being proposed for consideration. Number six, the reduction in music means we're reducing programming. The fact is that the reduction in music is directly related to responding to declining enrollment. So we have already looked at schedules for 26, 27, and all current programming will continue to be offered to our students, even with the reduction in music. So this is a response to declining enrollment. Programming will not change. And number seven, the English teacher reduction is only because the state changed the graduation requirement from 4 years to 3 for English. And the factual answer is that the proposed reduction in English at the high school is unrelated to the state change or our adoption of that new minimum requirement. It's related to scheduling of elective senior classes during senior year. Our school counselors will continue to advise all students to take 4 years of English, especially those seeking a 4-year college opportunity. So that's basically the highlights of what's going on with our budget referendum. I do encourage you to reach out to the board to let them know your thoughts. And the special meeting is tomorrow night at 6 p.m. All of the information will be online as usual. And the third referendum for the 26-27 budget is scheduled tentatively for June 18th. The board will vote officially on that tomorrow night. And the hours will be 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. And the locations will be Durham Community Center and Middlefield Community Center. We know that we need to make sure that we have a budget. There is a lot hanging in the balance until we have a budget. And this is the first date that we could hold the next referendum while still being able to meet the legal timelines for meetings and postings. So we do realize that everybody wants to have this move along and finalized, as do we. And please reach out if you have any questions. I hope to see you all tomorrow night, either online or in person at the board meeting. And thank you in advance for giving us your input. Take care. Bye.